Hi everybody, I'm back. We're going to do a little more work on this painting, and we have the camera a little closer, so hopefully it'll work better this time. I've got my palette ready. It's pretty much the same colors as last time. I am adding a turquoise green in. Okay. I've got the phthalo blue, Prussian blue, Payne's gray, gesso, and some black. And later we'll use true white, but right now we're just wanting to fade everything in. So now what my goal is to do is give it a little more definition. Now we're going to come in and define these mountains a little more. So we're going to give them a little bit of color. So I'm using the gesso, some Payne's gray. It's one of my favorite colors. It just mutes in so nicely. Just a little bit of that green. We'll see how that looks. I don't know. We'll find out when I put it in here. So the first thing I do is I'm going to just start to try to find some definition. And really it's just kind of where I feel like putting stuff. Right now I feel like putting a little bit of lightness in the back of here a little bit more, because I want you to feel the mountains coming out of the sky here. And I've got a little too much on my brush. And I'm wearing my apron that's just covered in paint, because it is a bad habit of mine where I just like to wipe the brush off right on my apron, which is why my clothes are all full of paint, because it's just a bad habit. So I'm trying to create kind of a misty feel here, and to do that you want it to be very soft. And then you want some new definition, not just one big blob of mistiness. So I just keep grabbing some of the gesso, a little bit of the Payne's gray, because I will give it a little more feel back there. And then I really do like this little bit of emerald green, and I think I'm going to add some Prussian blue. Have some soft flowing colors through here. And right there it's like overpowering, so I'll come back and add a little more Payne's gray, but it'll keep that tone. The Payne's gray won't take over the tone, so you'll still get that feeling through the Payne's gray. That's why I like it so much as a paint, because I can do a lot of misty, and I like misty stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to add some more Payne's gray in there. And true black is harsh, so that's why I save that for more detail stuff. I do add it in just a little bit to give it a little strength. So I'm starting to get a feel there, just a little bit, and I'll come back and kind of wash it down. And I'm just kind of going with the way I see the mountains here in New Mexico, depending on the day. I like the misty days. It's amazing how the light changes things. Doesn't matter how often you look at those mountains, they change every time you look at them. The light changes it every single time. Alright, so we're coming back in with some more Payne's gray. So one of the things I've noticed about videos that I have loved watching, I love watching other artists paint. You know, PBS. I remember Bob Ross. Wasn't he great? The happy painter? Joyful painter. He had happy trees. One of the things that always bothered me is not seeing everything they did. And I've never been able to do anything like anyone I've seen, but I sure like watching it. So what I'm going to try to do is just drag this thing out so that you see everything that goes into this painting. Of course, I've already done the base and I've already started the stars, but on another video, the next painting I do on video, I'll start from the very beginning. I've done that. I've started that with the sign language videos because they, you just can't repaint it. So I went ahead and started a brand new painting for the sign language videos, so it'll be a little different than what we're doing here. And then I soften it all, just lightly running your brush right over it. It should be somewhat dry. It shouldn't be filled with paint. So I'm going to come back over here again, and I'll just keep lightening it just a little at a time because I don't want to overdo it, because like I said last time, I don't want too much detail because you want it to fall into the background a little bit. But I want it to feel really far away, and there's just all sorts of mystery back there. That's my goal with most of my paintings. I like to have that feeling of, I'd like to get in the painting and see what's back there. And so like right there, that's pretty dark, and I don't want that to stay dark. So we're gonna bring that some light back in here. We're gonna bring it like there's a few other mountains back there. I change it as I go. That's one of the things I loved about Bob Ross, is he's like, there's no mistakes. They're all happy mistakes. There'll be trees, there'll be other mountains, just whatever you want to do. And really watching his videos is what got me to start painting, because I didn't start until I was a mom. I drew before that, but I never painted. And watching his paintings, I never did learn any of his techniques. But he encouraged you to just try it. Do your own thing. Do how you make it. Do what makes you happy. And so I really agree with that type of art, is just do what makes you happy. And it'll make other people happy, because if you're happy, other people will enjoy that too. So then I like to have a nice bright spot, keeping in mind where I'm going to be putting these trees. So the trees are going to go here, so I don't want it to block this bright, so I'll probably be adding a much brighter spot over here. We'll take the focal point away from over here, but it's okay to have it a little light. Anyhow, as I was saying, when you watch videos, people will go back, I know they have to edit and they have to have the right time for everything, that time frame, so you're not going to see what they're doing in between. They're showing what they're doing, and since I'm not on a show, I'm just sharing what I do, I can show you everything I do. So I'm going to try to finish somewhat what we're doing here in these paintings here. So now I feel like that was too much color. So we're going to tone it down. Like right now, you can feel like, I just ruined that whole thing. But I didn't. You just got to come in and bring some more gesso and soften it. And get a little, don't let the paint stick. I've got a hair right there. Let's get that off. Oh, the problems you run into. So this video might run a little long, because we're going to try to kind of get this finished. So I'm going to bring in more Payne's Gray, because it'll soften that where it's just a little too bright. Finding that right balance of remembering it's nighttime, but that the stars are lighting things up. You need to be careful not to over brighten it. And you just kind of have to go with the feel. What do you feel works? So I'm going to bring a little more definition right here. I have an itchy nose, I'm sorry. I have allergies. In the fall I start to get more allergies. I'm allergic to all the sage. And we are surrounded by sage. I have to live here. My kiddo has to breathe, and he can breathe here. So I can put up with a little itchy nose. But I apologize while I'm videotaping. Okay, so we're starting to get that feel And I'm going to come back in here and darken it just a little bit more. And so this is why I did the light behind it, because, and it was kind of high, because these mountains were going to start to come up and fill this space. Okay, so we've got a nice light spot here, and over here we want to get some nice light coming over these mountains, because like I said, the trees in this painting are going to go in the middle of the painting. So we want to get some light back here, and again we want it to be soft. So I'm going to get some of the paint off of my brush, and then I'm going to float it across here like that, and just kind of flick it. And you know, if you're not happy with that, then you can do more. You can come back in and change it again, which, you know, we might do later. At the moment, I kind of like this color happening here, so I'm going to just add a little lightness to it there in that corner. Like there's maybe a touch of snow up here. That's one of the things I couldn't decide on this painting, if I was going to make it snowy or misty or both or not. Sometimes I have a hard time deciding those kind of things. So, kind of in the middle, I think. We'll see how the painting goes. I find that most of my paintings, it's just, well, let's see what happens. So I'm going to bring a little ridge in here, because mountains are not just one big hunk of rock. They're all sorts of ridges, and that's why the light, when the light hits it, it's just amazing, because it catches every different ridge. And these mountains, I don't really know where these are. I think they're maybe South New Mexico. I'm not sure. Like I've said before, I don't copy. So that's as far as we're going to go today. So you can see there's some definition there, even more so than before. And then next time what we're going to do is we'll start working on the water. And then as we go, we might add more detail back here. We'll see. And then, of course, more stars. So y'all have a great day out there. Bye.